I think that one of the hardest things in your early 20s is the idea of growing apart from friends. Throughout childhood, high school, and college, friendships seem to go smoothly. You guys get along on pretty much everything, you have the same hobbies, the same interests, the same goals and ambitions. But once you hit the weird age of 21, 22, and 23, things begin to change. You may notice yourself drifting apart from your college friends. You realize that you guys don't think the same anymore, that you're going in a different direction than them, that you want something that they don't, or vice versa. It gets weird. You feel those ties from the years that you spent being friends in college, and there's a gravitational pull trying to rip that connection apart. You don't understand why things feel different, so you fight it. You try to make it feel the same by talking about those old memories, telling those old stories, and trying to relate to them the way you did in the past. But you've changed, and it will never feel the same. See, that's what I'm going through right now. People that I've been friends with for years just don't align with what I want out of the world. They're still doing things and acting in ways that I no longer agree with, and I kinda want to distance myself from it. And while I know that it's ultimately good for me, it makes me feel bad. But I've started to learn that this is just the way the world works. See, I made this video before, but decided to remake it because someone pointed out a few flaws in the way that I was thinking. So if you saw this already, consider this an amendment to the previous version that explains this situation in a better way. One of my friends gave me some advice that completely changed my perspective on the idea of losing your connection with some of your friends, and I think there is significant value in listening to it. Think about the people that you were friends with throughout your life that you no longer talk to. Maybe go back to your elementary school best friend, or the kids you played baseball with in middle school, or that random person that became your close friend for one summer and then disappeared. If you're like me, you can reflect on quite a few friendships like this. I mean, this could even relate to online friends as well. The guys that you used to play Minecraft with that you haven't spoken to in years. There are plenty of examples out there for these types of people, and I can almost bet that everyone has at least one of these. Now, think about the way that you and that person grew apart. Maybe the one summer friend ended up moving away, or the elementary school one moved to a new school and you never really saw them again. Do you sit there and kick yourself over this happening? Do you feel bad that you guys have gone in different directions and no longer talk anymore? No, you probably don't, and that's just because it was a natural progression in life where paths just seem to spread apart. So, what is the difference now? See, you saw these situations as a normal part of your life. Things that happened when you changed phases. When you went from elementary school to middle school, from high school to college, and you didn't think back on it with anything except the fondest of memories. So, don't feel bad when it inevitably happens again. We're all out here living our own selfish lives, doing the things that we love to do, chasing our passions, and working towards our goals. And you want to fit other people into your plans, but sometimes they have their own plans. You can't force these relationships to continue working, and if you guys are heading in different directions, sometimes, even though it hurts, it's best to realize this and accept it. The more that you cling on to the old versions of yourselves and try to force the friendship to continue at the intensity that it was at before, the more distant you guys are going to feel from each other. So accept this growing apart thing as an evolution of yourselves, and realize that not every friend needs to be a super close one. And again, this doesn't mean that you need to have hard feelings. It's just the progression of life, and clinging on to the past in the hopes that it'll one day feel the same is pointless, because as much as this hurts, it will never feel the same. Think about when you hop on old Minecraft worlds to revisit the nostalgia. Does that world feel exactly the same today? Do you still feel the same intense feelings of excitement that you felt when you used to actively play on it? Do you feel the same sense of eagerness to hop on and continue your adventures with your friends? Probably not, but the fact that you don't feel these things anymore doesn't diminish the value of the memories that were formed on these worlds. So at some point, you will have to accept the fact that things will change with your friends. You will grow apart from some of them, but that doesn't overwrite the value of those memories that you shared in the previous chapter of your life. I'm in a weird stage of my life that's surprisingly stable for my age, and it's been causing some tension between my friends and I. They still spend a lot of time going out and partying, doing drugs, and not committing to relationships because they have the illusion of abundance. And sure, that's fine with me, it's their life, but it's not the lifestyle that I'm looking for right now. I've finally gotten into a solid, stable relationship with a girl that makes me extremely happy. I'm focusing heavily on my health and quitting alcohol, and working on building something that I get immense pleasure from with this YouTube channel. So our visions have kind of grown apart. As much as I want to continue to connect with them on the same level that I did when I used to do those things, I just don't relate to that lifestyle anymore, and if I try to join them in their endeavors just to cave to what they want me to do, I will not be happy. So, because of that, we are growing apart. I'm now sitting on the sidelines with these friendships, and if we have the opportunity to connect on something or do something fun together, I will take it without hesitation. But if that doesn't happen naturally, I'm okay with these friendships growing apart. My goals and lifestyle is more important to me than trying to follow theirs just to maintain our close friendship. And I'm not willing to sacrifice those things for that reason, which inevitably means that things don't feel the same anymore, and it kind of sucks. Does it hurt? Yeah, a little. But that's when I need to remember that this has happened many times previously in my life, and that it's okay. But see, there's another angle to this. While there are some friendships that I'm simply growing apart from, there are others that, well, aren't going so smoothly. Some people are toxic, and as you get older, you begin to realize this. And once you realize this, you need to distance yourself from those people. You would assume that your friends always want you to live your best life, but the harsh reality is that some people like you and support you only if you're equal to or below them on the path to self-actualization. But sometimes, when you're making more progress on your goals than they are on theirs, they stop cheering you on. The, whoa dude, this is such a cool idea, turns into, yeah, I don't know if you should do that, and the shared vision of success that you guys once had turns into a sensitive topic. You notice that this person seems to attack you more often and bring you down instead of lifting you up. While the slowly growing apart thing isn't a big deal in the grand scheme of things, people like this are. And, well, I'm in the process of cutting off people who I believed were really good friends because they decided that my vision for my life doesn't align with their vision for my life. They want me to succeed, but only as long as they succeed more, and I'm not okay with this. People who drag you down need to go, period. There's no point in keeping toxic people around just to have a few more bodies at your birthday party. In the long run, you're hurting yourself by hanging out with these people, and until you remove them from your life, you're never going to be where you want to be. It's hard to climb the ladder to fulfillment when you have cinder blocks on your ankles, so why do you keep trying to do it? A good friend will always be there to support you and build you up, and you need to protect those people at all costs. But sometimes people only pretend to build you up and don't actually mean what they say. It's an illusion, and when this illusion breaks, like it did recently with some of my friends, you need to accept the reality and remove toxic people from your life. I don't know if you've ever heard of the crabs in a bucket analogy, but I really like it. So apparently, if you have a bunch of crabs in a bucket, you don't have to put a lid on it because while every single one of the crabs could escape, the ones at the bottom will continuously pull the ones trying to escape back down into the bucket, which means in the long run, none of them can escape. And that's how I see toxic relationships. So get them out of your life, and maybe you can finally get out of the bucket and see what's out there. Now, I do want to be clear here. I don't mean this in the way that a lot of toxic self-help influencers do, where they say that you're better than your friends and that since they want to work a dead-end job and you want to be an entrepreneur, you should cut them off and isolate yourself in your bedroom, working hard with your head down. I don't think intentionally isolating yourself from your friends is a solution to any problem. I think that doing that will set you up to live a very lonely and empty life. Measuring your relationships based on drive or ambition or other qualities thrown onto us by Western hustle culture is toxic, and I absolutely hate when people say stuff like that. Friendships are a lot more than that, and sometimes your best friends are going to have entirely different financial or career goals from you. Heck, some of them may not even buy into that hustle culture mentality altogether. What I really mean here is that you need to pay attention to how supportive your friends are and how they treat you in general. Their character, their actions, and the way that they contribute to the world. If you're looking to learn new things, new philosophies, new skills, to get out of your comfort zone and experience the world in new ways, and they criticize you for that, then there's an issue. They shouldn't be dragging you down emotionally. They shouldn't try to keep you from being the person you want to be. Again, it's not about finances or status or other superficial goals like a lot of people make it out to be. Think in terms of energy. Do you feel better or worse after you spend time with this person? Do they make you feel anxious or drained? Do they make you feel energized? That's what you should pay attention to, because people who make you feel exhausted are going to take that energy from you and prevent you from using it in a way that changes your life and helps you to do what you truly want to do. And for those friends that you don't have problems with, it's okay to grow apart. As you change and develop as a person, you'll find more people who more closely relate to what you're striving for, and those friendships will be even stronger than the ones that you're growing apart from. And one other thing, the real friendships, the ones that'll be there for you no matter what, well, they'll be there for you no matter what. There are some friends that don't require a lot of maintenance. Sure, you may talk less than you did before, but when you talk again, the connection will still be there. I barely hear from my lifelong best friend anymore because he has a new girlfriend and he seems a little preoccupied. I reach out a lot, and honestly, I don't get as many responses as I'd like. It annoys me at times, and it makes me wish we talked more often. But at the end of the day, I know our friendship will be fine. I know that when he gets less busy and wants to hang out, we'll still have the 15 years of shared experiences, the family issues, and the history together that turned our friendship into something special to begin with. It's okay that we drifted apart because everything ends up coming back to its natural state in the end, and the same goes for friendships. For example, I have an online friend who lives across the world from me that I've spoken to for over a decade now, maybe longer. We used to play games together pretty much every day for years. Over the last 5 years or so, though, I haven't been playing games as much and we haven't talked too often. But a few months ago, we queued up to play Arc Raiders together, and when we hopped in a call, it really felt like nothing has changed. Again, our shared experiences playing games and chatting for hours and hours on end built our friendship enough that it'll never truly go away. So don't lose hope. Sure, some friendships will inevitably vanish, but the ones that are meant to be will always be there, even if it doesn't seem like it at the moment. If you want to make new friends online, you should join our Discord with over 9,000 members. When I say that this community is the best I've ever seen, I'm not exaggerating. I've made so many new friends, and there's even a Discord voice chat in the server that's been active for over 1,000 hours at this point. The Discord is also connected with our very own private members-only Minecraft server exclusively for the community, so you can join that as well if it seems interesting to you, and maybe you could meet some new people to talk to, play games with, and form friendships with. Also, all of these episodes and some bonus ones are going up in audio form on Spotify. If you want to listen to these in the car or at the gym, now you can, so check it out in the description. If we can get the podcast to a certain point, I will start streaming regularly on YouTube to celebrate, so go and give it a follow and listen to some of the episodes to make it happen. I really appreciate everyone's support, and I would love to see your comments over on the podcast page. So, on the topic of growing apart from friends, do you think it's this simple, or am I missing something that makes this a bit more complicated? I love seeing your perspective in the comments, so let me know how this video makes you feel. If you enjoyed this talk, feel free to buy me a coffee using the link in the description, and we will talk again soon.